Now I've become less committed to my things and more about, are you serving me a purpose? If you're not serving me a purpose, why are you here? And that has made it easier to call, the whole mind, does this spark joy? No, doesn't. Get rid of it. Welcome back to the Get Rich Slow Club. I'm Anna and I'm here with Tash. And today we are talking about how I am planning on making $7,000.
I love this goal so much and I think it's so fun. So you're trying to make $7,000 on Marketplace or Gumtree? Is that the goal?
That is the goal, yes.
Exciting.
But before we get into it, Tash, do you have a money win or loss?
Yeah, money win. I had a Christmas in July dinner at my house on Sunday. I was literally saying the other week, Christmas in July seems like such a consumerism way to make people spend more money. And then my friend was like, oh my God, I love Christmas in July. It makes me miss home. I'd love to do something. So I was like, okay, cool. We'll just organize something. And it was really fun. We ended up doing we bought some decorations and I bought drinks. One of my friends made the sides. Someone else made the roast. Someone bought dessert and a salad. Someone else bought cheese. So it was really good. I think everyone spent under $100, not even that much. And we got to have this really cool dinner.
The vibe of Christmas in July really reminds me of Christmas back home. Because it's cold, you have a fireplace on, you get warm, everyone gets together. There's nothing else to do. You can't really go outside because it's snowing or raining or cold or whatever. So I absolutely love that. I haven't done it in years, but when I saw that you did that, I got a little bit jealous because I was like, oh, I should have done it this year.
Yeah, we organized it really last minute. Yeah. I was literally 6 days before we were talking about it. And I was like, let's just do it. And everyone happened to be free. And then I was a bit limited by our house, how many seats we could have, because I would have loved to invite more people. We were let's just do, I think there was 9 people this time. And we ended up buying an extra plastic trestle table to set up because we only have a 4-seater dining table, but it worked well.
I think that's great. You actually made me think maybe I can fit in a quick Christmas, maybe in Christmas in August.
Oh, yeah, you should do it because you have a bigger lounge room or dining room than I do.
It's just nice. It just reminds me of home. It made me nostalgic. So I think that's a huge win.
I feel you could do it with your family as well. Just put out the Christmas tree and decide we're doing it.
The kids would love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm convinced. I'm doing it.
Next weekend, put it on the list.
Awesome.
So back to your fun goal, $7,000 on Marketplace and Gumtree feels like a lot to me. And it feels very an interesting number. Why did you pick $7,000?
Yeah, great question. So back in 2022, I think Gumtree put out a report and they said that Aussies can make somewhere between $5,000 to $7,000 from selling things in their house. And I thought, hey, why not? I mean, mind you, that's from around COVID time. So people were at home maybe thinking, how do I make my place a little bit more comfortable during COVID? But I thought, all right, let's do it. Let's hit $7,000 if I can. And so looking at some of the reports that I've seen, Australian households have around 21 sellable items lying around. So that's quite a bit of things that you could potentially sell. And they said that the estimated total value is around $6,964. So I thought, let's round that up. Let's make it 7K, see if we can do it.
I initially thought it sounded like a lot because I don't have that much stuff in Melbourne. I still got a lot of stuff at my parents' house. And I was thinking, would I be able to find $7,000 worth of stuff? I don't think I've even spent that much. But then I remembered all my electronics, old phones that are just kind of sitting around that I don't really use, but I don't want to get rid of, an old laptop, maybe an old monitor. And that stuff could be a few $1,000s just there.
Absolutely. So they said that some of the biggest items that people could offload are clothes, toys, electronics, and home decor. And when you think it over, a lot of those things can cost quite a bit. If you're bundling some clothes or if you have brand names or if you have toys. And like you said, electronics get pretty expensive. And even if you're reselling it, you can get decent money from that.
Yeah. And if I consider the stuff at my parents' house, I could definitely go and sell some of my old dive things that I don't use anymore.
Yeah. Oh man. When I moved from Canada to Australia, I offloaded so much of my stuff and you just realize how many things you have, everything from skateboards to roller skates. So, sports equipment, that gets kind of expensive as well. And if you sell a whole bunch of it or you bundle, but let's talk about all of the little tricks around how to sell things in a little bit. But yeah, there's definitely things that you can sell. So I think it's possible.
It's crazy when you drive in some places and you see all the storage places everywhere. There feels like there's a lot of storage and people storing stuff, which feels a little bit crazy to me. And I understand if it's a sentimental thing or maybe you stored your stuff because you didn't know when you would come home. But to me, that kind of seems like almost a little bit of a waste of money if you could just sell it.
There's this comedian, I can't remember his name, Carlin, maybe? Anyhow, he did this whole thing about how people buy houses and then they fill their houses with a lot of stuff and then they have too much stuff, so they need to buy a bigger house to fill it with more stuff. And then they have too much stuff and then they put it in their storage. And that's exactly that. Why not sell it? Why not make money? I really love the minimalist kind of lifestyle. The less stuff and junk I have, I feel mentally happier. You know what I mean? There's less clutter. There's less things to clean up. I don't have to put everything in a place. Everything needs a home. So this is just a great way to offload those things.
Yeah, I know it's a bit of a temporary mindset, but I guess because I don't know where I want to live, my mind's always like, why would I buy that if I have to move it? Like the cost to move that if I move back to Perth is a lot of money, so why bother?
Yeah, great comment. We lived in a tiny 2-bed, then moved to a 3-bed with 1 kid, and then moved to a 4-bed with 2 kids. And in that time, there was a lot of reshuffling, and it was such a good way to be like, hey, do I need a smaller table or a bigger table? How do I do this? And it just, I don't know. Now I've become less committed to my things and more about, are you serving me a purpose? If you're not serving me a purpose, why are you here?
Yeah.
And that has made it easier to cull, like, the whole mind, like, does this spark joy?
Yes.
No, doesn't. Get rid of it.
I think it's also a little bit easier when you've got savings as well, because you know that you can rebuy it if you make a big mistake. Like it's not like this scarcity, I have to hold on to this. Like you don't want to be like buying and selling all the time. But I know that if I get rid of something, it's not the end of the world if I want it back.
The other thing is if you're selling online, you're also seeing other things at a cheaper price. You do not have to buy a table full price.
Has this made you want to buy more stuff because you're seeing everything?
No, but it has made me become more clever about what I need. Like there's a couple things where you're like, oh, I need some containers to put something in or whatever it might be. Do I need to go to Kmart and buy it, or can I just get it for cheaper online?
Or can I just clean the containers I already have?
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing, right? Like I'll reuse jars all the time. So instead of buying those nice, beautiful canisters to make my pantry look beautiful, guess what? That peanut butter jar that I bought from Costco, I'm just going to clean it out, make sure it's great. And then now it has, oats in it or whatever it might be.
Yeah, we needed to make sure all of our plates and stuff were clean for when our friends came over because we're a bit limited on cutlery and plates and also containers. And I looked through the fridge and found things and I probably wasn't going to eat anymore that I just hadn't bothered to clean out yet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff just sitting there sometimes.
Yeah. So this whole process has made me more minimalistic, more intentional, focused on savings, but also just having and creating a better, happier house.
Where are you up to now? So when did you start? What's the timeline on this?
Yeah. Okay. So I started a few months ago just to kind of dip my toes into this. And I have sold quite a bit of things so far. So I've sold a wooden table, a standing...
a wooden table. You said $200, which seems like a lot for a wooden table. What kind of table? Like a dining table?
Yeah, it was a dining table. It just was a bit too big. It didn't kind of fit in the space. We needed a smaller table, so I got rid of that. I had a bunch of chairs. I had a standing desk that I was going to upgrade anyways. It was just... I needed to get rid of it from the room that I was in. So, I sold some money, but then I bought a different desk to fit. We had a small black desk in the other room, baby basket, a baby carrier, baby clothes, baby bouncer, jolly jumper. I'm going to be totally honest, having newborn stuff makes it easier to sell. I also had a cot, which is a specific name brand one. So if anyone knows of Stokey, they're usually high-end type of things. And I had a couple things from them that has really good resale value. I also have like high chairs from them that I will eventually sell once my kids grow up. So buying name brand things that you're going to use for a while, you have really good resale value. And then some maternity stuff, kids bookshelf and so forth. So overall, that total running cost, that's over $1,100. So to $1,105 to be exact.
Amazing. So you're 1/7 of the way there.
Yeah. And mind you, I think it's easier because I have kids and I'm just trying to shuffle through that stuff. But
I think it's like, I thought it would be hard until I actually sat down and thought about my stuff because I don't have kids stuff. I don't really have heaps of excess stuff, but I do have electronics. Have you gotten to electronics yet? Is that next on your list?
No, I haven't got into electronics yet. I'm still trying to go through the kids stuff. I still have like a bunch of clothes. And what I've realized is like bundles really work. So if you're creating like a bundle of this age group or even bundling like maternity stuff, I bundled a bunch of stuff.
I've seen those where people are like, here's like the 20 books I have. What do you want? And you can go and pick up like 5 instead of just 1. Oh, I've got so many books I could sell.
Yes, there you go. So there's a lot of ways around this. I haven't done everything in our house. Like there's a whole bunch of things, but I really just need to declutter. I also have like a shelf or not a shelf, but like a cabinet that I wanted to refurnish. Like I was very much...
I feel like I've heard you talk about this.
I've talked about this before and it's just sitting there and my partner's like, can you please get rid of that? Like you're not using it.
Time.
So there's a couple random little things that I have lying around from that because we moved from one place to another and it didn't suit our needs. And then we just like shoved it in a corner and ignored it. And now it's time.
I feel this about furniture. When you buy something for the house you're in now, and especially if you're still renting, but then it's not something that can fit everywhere. Like I've heard this, we bought a king bed, which is like a big splurge, but I'm also mindful that if we move somewhere else, it might not fit.
That's exactly
And that's a risk I'm happy to take for now. And I'm happy to like move further away to have a bigger bedroom maybe in the future. But yeah, it's interesting if you buy things that are like fit a very specific vibe, which is great for that house. But then if you move and you're like, wait, it doesn't fit anymore.
Well, we had a tiny place and we had a desk that was one of those like really, really thin desks because we were working out of our bedroom, right? Like during COVID time, we didn't have the space. And now that we have the space, we wanted to set up our office. We're like, can we sell this stuff? Yes, we're going to upgrade to desk that suit us better, that are standing desks that we can kind of utilize. So there is a give and take, but at the end of the day, if I'm thinking about it as just stuff, I can find something secondhand that'll better suit my needs. Why am I holding on to this?
Yeah.
I just don't want to be a hoarder.
No, I'm sure you won't be. What are your tips for selling stuff? Because I find marketplace a bit draining. I find it a lot of work sometimes, especially for those like lower value things. If you're selling books for $5 each, I can find them backwards and forwards quite a bit. Do you have any tips to get people to commit or to not waste your time or to just make it worth it for yourself?
Absolutely. I have a bunch of tips. So one of the first one is take amazing photos. And what I usually do is if I'm sorting through things, I will take all my photos at that time. I don't want to like take a photo and post. I want to take all my photos, make sure I have a nice background, make sure that I have good lighting. If it's like, for example, a desk, put like a nice vase on it or a plant to make it just look loved. So taking photos is a really important one, and also just being really honest about that. If it has nicks and scratches, just call that out in your post as well. So take all your photos at once because you can post them later. Like just batch this stuff. You want to make it as easy as possible. Another thing is do some research. So you might think, hey, I bought this for, I don't know, I'm going to make numbers up. But let's say I bought this for $80 and now I think I'm going to sell it for $40 because that's about half. I've had it for a while. But go look online. Sometimes high value things that are good brand names, they might actually sell for, $75 or $65.
Yeah,
I know it sounds crazy.
That cot that you just mentioned. Like that sounds like a lot of money for a cot, but I don't know how much cots normally cost. That's cool that you can sell it for $375.
Wild, right?
Yeah.
Wild. It's just wild that you can get such good resale value on the really good name brand, especially baby stuff for sure, I found.
My mom often puts things up for free because she doesn't want like the backwards and forwards and just wants it gone. But there's a few things I've been like, actually, like you could sell that for like a decent amount of money, but she hasn't done the research. She's like, oh, we've had it for ages. Like who would want to pay for that? But she's just not like up to date with what it would be worth.
Yeah, that's why the research part is so important, right? Because you can get a bit more money. If you want it out and gone faster and sooner, yes, you can sell it for really cheap. Like there was a little shelf that I had, like a kid's shelf that I put for $5. I probably could have got more for it. I was just like, I just want it gone. I don't really care. It's not made of solid wood. It's like those Kmart ones. I was like, I don't really care to nickel and dime for $20. And I got so many messages for it. And I was just like, first come, first serve. Like I wrote in the post, I was like, first come, first serve. No, I'm not holding this. If you want it, come grab it. And sure enough, someone grabbed it like the next morning and I was like, good, done.
Amazing. Take
Whatever.
it off.
Yeah. So do your research. The other thing is watch out for scams. There's a lot of weird scams that happen where they're like, I will transfer you the money. Did you not get the money? Oh no, what happened? Can you transfer me back the same money? And then I don't know, these whole crazy scams. If something sounds weird, Google it, look it up, make sure that make sure that you're safe. Like that's honestly what you want to do. I only take cash. I don't take any kind of payments. There was one time that I let someone transfer me money because
pay
they were
or anything.
I don't, but that's just my philosophy. Other people do, which is fine if they do.
I don't like the idea of giving out my bank details because it's crazy how you can set up a direct debit with just bank details. That terrifies me. But I don't know if there's anything scary about Pay ID because it feels like that's safer, but I don't know if it is because then you are giving out your email, your phone number.
Yeah. So it's just up to you and your discretion. But I just take cash. That's just cash. I have a cash jar.
Okay, cool. So you think cash is safest and then...
For me, yeah. And to be, for me it is, yeah.
Or something that transfers instantly. So I've seen that before. I think, someone I knew was selling a laptop and they had a bank where it didn't transfer instantly. And I was like,
yeah. And then
that's
you have
a hard
to wait.
one. Like that's either cash or... Yeah, because you don't want to wait. Because then it's like the trust of like, you don't want to give them the laptop, but then you don't want to like, they don't want to pay you money and then you don't give them the laptop. That's a hard thing to be in. Yeah,
I did have someone come pick up a couch a while ago. This is not on the list of the things I did because it's a couple of years ago, but they didn't have like the full cash. Like they came first thing. Like I was getting so many messages about this couch because I just wanted it gone. And they did a transfer. So I waited for that to happen as well, but they were at our house like picking it up.
Yeah,
so you're like, oh, well, hopefully this works. You know? And it was fine. Yeah. So I wouldn't do it ahead of time, but that's just me to be safe. I mean, you can trial and see what works for you, but just know there's a lot of people who'll scam you. And especially if it's over like $200, that's when the scams come out. They don't usually target you if you're selling something for $20 or $50. But that's at least what I've seen. As soon as I post something for like $200 a table or a cot, that's when I get all the scam messages.
Do you find Gumtree or Marketplace better? Or do they have different kind of audiences?
Great question. I feel like more people are on Marketplace, so you might get more scams there. But sometimes I get more genuine people on Gumtree. So like they just feel more genuine.
How do you pick which one to list it on?
Time.
Is it just the vibe?
Yeah, time. How much time I have. I'll usually probably do it on Marketplace first, just because it's a bit easier, and then if it's not selling, I'll chuck it on Gumtree or something of that sort. Yeah. The other tip that I would say is like have some rules. I think I mentioned this. I kind of have that first come first serve, but that's because I just don't want to hold things. I want people to just like come and take the stuff and get it out of my way. There might be other rules that you're willing to do. I know that there was once I had a mom being like, "Oh, I want to buy a tub off you, but like I can't make it there." And I was like, well, I'm actually I'm going towards your way, so I can drop it off for you. So there's things that I'm willing to do as well if they're within my capacity. So it kind of depends. And then the last tip that I have is get your kids involved. Kids want to be involved in things like this. My kid gets really excited. Mama, are we selling things? Are we going to make money? What are we selling?
Are you going to make money? I love that.
Yeah. And they get excited too, to kind of go through their things. And I'm like, oh, I haven't played with this for a long time. It's like, yeah, well, your younger sibling might play with it, but I love that you're thinking about this as well, because then it's also about decluttering, knowing what's valuable, knowing what you want around the house.
And teaching them those skills of like, let's go sell something.
Yeah. And also the value of it, right? Like you can buy a brand new toy for $60 or you can buy a secondhand one for $20. Which one do you want? Does it really matter that you're taking it out of packaging?
Yeah.
So that's kind of that. The other thing is if I can't sell something after a certain period of time, I'll drop the price a bit or I'll repost it, because if you drop the price, it shows, that before it was $80, now it's $60. You can just repost it as well. Or if I just couldn't, I don't want to deal with it anymore, I'll just donate it. So that's the other option.
Where do you donate it to?
There's a couple different organizations around that I can drop it off. I did drop it off at a Salvo's recently and they gave me a coupon.
Oh.
So that was nice. Dropped off a couple things.
How much was the coupon?
I think it was like, $5 off at your next spot. But I was like, oh, that's cute. So I went for a wander in there and saw all the little loved toys and random things. And you're like, oh, this is actually great to just go shopping here too, because there's so much stuff that is in good condition.
Have a good book section. That's really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're a few months in. Let's say you've got 9-10 months left. How are you going to find $6,000 worth of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a very ambitious goal. Will I hit 7K? I don't know. Maybe. I just need to, I guess, keep going. There's little bits and pieces. Oh, another tip that I forgot to mention that I remembered is a lot of people don't want to deal with people coming to their house. Like they just hate that idea of like meeting people, giving them stuff. What I've started doing is when I know someone's going to pick something up, I leave it at my front door. I tell them to put the money under the mat, and then they can grab it and easily leave. And that is just the nicest way to deal with
Has anyone not given you the money?
No. Everyone's given me the money.
You talk to them through the door camera, the Ring doorbell?
No, yeah.
Thank you.
I haven't, but I do know when they're coming because I do have a camera. But that's just a nice way to not have to deal with them. I think they kind of like it. I like when I've picked up stuff and didn't have to deal with someone.
I hate when you go somewhere and someone's like, oh, just come in. And you're like, oh.
Not really.
I read
don't
too
want
many murder mysteries.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
So that's another little tip, but yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome.
I'm keen to hear everyone else's goals. This seems like a fun one. I might have to set a smaller goal, like maybe $1,000 or something.
Yeah, get rid of your electronics. If you're not using them, why not?
Yeah, trade them in or something. Not even trade them in, try and sell them.
Yeah.
Okay, I might set a goal for $1,000.
All right, let's see.
And then go home to my parents' house and sell my stuff there. But I'd love to hear what everyone else's goal is. I feel like reselling stuff kind of has its moment, but it's not really having its moment at the moment. So time to bring it back maybe. Or not in like my online world. Maybe it's still around.
I think with the cost of living, it's just such a great way to make some money. But also if you're going to buy something, it reminds you that other people's discarded things might be your treasure.
Yeah, sometimes I find it exhausting scrolling through, but sometimes when I have a good moment, I'm like, wow, there's so much good stuff on here. Especially when the algorithm knows what you like.
Yeah.
It's good. Yay. Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for joining us. If you found this episode helpful, please rate us 5 stars, write a review, or share with a friend. If you're new to investing, make sure to listen to our first 10 episodes. Follow us at Get Rich Slow Club or Tash at Tash Invests or me at Anna Christina.
The Get Rich Slow Club podcast is a collaboration between Tash Etchman from Tash Invest and Anna Christina from Perla. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to investing. So make sure you check out our financial services guides and read the product disclosure statement and target market determination for any investments you're considering. See our show notes for more info. Any advice is general and does not consider your financial situation, needs, or objectives, so consider whether it's appropriate for you. This show was brought to you by Natasha Etchman, who is an authorized representative 1299881 of Guideway Financial Services, AFSL 420367, and Perla, who is an authorized representative 1281540 of Sanlam Private Wealth, AFSL 337927. The Get Rich Slow Club acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land we record on. From coast to coast, across land, waters, and communities, we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging.